Hello my friends and welcome back to Slay the Spire 2. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Defect. So about a week ago I did a run with the Defect where I mentioned that I'd been having some trouble with the character, and so I wanted to talk through in that run my thought process for trying to learn and overcome the difficulties that I've been having. Got a lot of great comments from people who were more experienced with the Defect, so today we're going to try to put that learning into practice and see if we have evolved our capacity to play this character. The Defect, I think my main issue was that I was treating it too much like a combo character and not enough as a pure sort of value, standard play character. So I'm going to focus on just making a solid deck that does the things that you want it to do as we go through this run. All right, so let's look at our options here. Lead Paperweight, I think, is a pretty good option. Typically, you're going to get something decent from the Lead Paperweight here. Small Capsule could be really good, could be really bad, but usually if I see Precarious Shears, I'm just going to take it. Removing 2 cards from the deck is such a powerful effect, so even though it's very expensive in terms of health, it's just going to make your deck so much more consistent. Here, I think, because we're the Defect and we have Zap and Dual Cast for damage, I'm going to remove 2 strikes. I'm actually not 100% sure whether it's better to remove Strike Defend or 2 strikes. 2 strikes is better long-term, but might leave us a little short on damage for the early fights. But because the Defect has Dual Cast, a very high damage card, I think we're okay taking the more long-term play. We're going to focus on finding a good attack to replace the 2 strikes that we just lost so that our deck doesn't lose too much damage overall. Alright, so looking at this path here, we have an early shop that could help us find the attack that we're looking for, or the key pieces that we're looking for, potentially. And the nice thing about this path is that we only have 3 attacks, then we could, or 3 hallway fights, then we could do an elite. And then I could work my way up to the left here and potentially take this campfire if we need the health, or do an elite. And then we do have a kind of an awkward spot here with a bunch of hallway fights, which of course I'd prefer to avoid. But it's still looking like a more attractive path than any to the right. Going this way, we have our 4th hallway fight very early, which I usually want to avoid. And then here we also have a very early elite with no shop to help us out. So this looks like the right pathing to the left here. All right, 11 damage incoming. We did get, even though we've removed a bunch of strikes from our deck, we got a very awkward shuffle where we didn't get 2 defends. So we're always going to be taking some damage here. So very unlucky there. I think the odds of that happening are extremely low, but unfortunately it did happen to happen. Luckily, that's the only damage we take in this fight, but we are going to, because we got that bad shuffle, need to be a little bit more careful with how we play the next couple, or how we choose our next couple cards. We're going to need at least one kind of early game tempo card, like Focused Strike, for example, to get us through the early game. Focused Strike is a very classical Strike Plus type of card, where it does 1 energy for 9 damage, which is kind of the normal rate for this type of card, this early game type of strike. And then because it gives you focus, it can also have some bonus effects with our lightning orbs or with frost orbs that we might get later on. So that's what we're going to take here, and then we'll take another fight. Here we did manage to get a defend, and we'll play our focused strike. So it was worth 10 damage there because it gave us +1 from the lightning. And then if I go strike, Dual Cast, that's 16 damage, and then Zap, we'd be 1 damage short. So let's just go defend, and we'll play the Dual Cast. And here we're playing Dual Cast, and even though, you know, we could have the passive damage, because this gets the enemy down to 8, which means that almost any damage card that we draw will kill it. One thing that I think is, I did see some comments about this, which I disagree with, which was that I was playing Dual Cast too often. It's worth, by itself, 5 turns of passive damage from the lightning orb, so usually you're going to want to play it when you draw it. We'll take the potion here, of course, and then we got one of the best cards, I think, for the Defect in general, Cool-Headed. I think that this is a core card for the character, pun intended, because when you upgrade it, it draws 2 cards, and channeling a Frost is a very valuable tool, especially with our Focused Strike. Let's go here to the shop, and we'll see what they've got there. This is another spot where we have a bunch of interesting options from this shop. So Panache could be very good. This character can often play 5 cards in a turn, but that's, again, more of a long-term play. Glacier is a really nice blocking card that we could add to the deck. I don't need it as much with, it's 10 damage, 10 block by default, but better if you have focus, better if you're cycling through orbs and stuff like that, and then when you upgrade it, it's 13 block for 2. Thunder is a really key component of a lot of the damage combos that this character gets later on. On the other hand, I also have removed almost every strike, and we have a focused strike for decent damage, so I think what I'm going to do here is actually just remove another strike. We can end up with a very thin deck here. I could take the Thunder as well in the hopes that we get more ability to channel Lightning, and let's do that. And now we kind of have a plan where we're going to be able to evoke Lightning pretty frequently with our Thunder for extra damage. And because I have this Power Potion as well, I'm not that worried about the Elite fight, even though we have relatively low health. I could lose the Power Potion for a common attack, or lose the Flex Potion, a much worse potion, for a skill, which I think is usually going to be better to get than an attack, so we're going to take the insert this common potion and get a skill. Some really nice options here as well. Boost Away is a great blocking card. Turbo is part of a lot of the major combos for this character, and Hotfix was actually nerfed in the most recent patch, so this is the new Hotfix, where it has exhaust at unupgraded and then upgrades to remove the exhaust rather than upgrading to increase the focus. So, given that I have a Frost Orb already, Hotfix is pretty tempting, but I think that Turbo is so strong that I'm usually just going to take this, and now we have a really strong direction for the deck. We can go with Turbo and card draw and get a lot of card plays in a given turn. And then let's go here. 7 damage incoming this turn, so let's start with the Cool-Headed and see what we can draw into. Now I only need to play 1 Defend to block all the incoming damage, and then we'll play the Defend. And then here, I am going to play the Zap, because even though we have dual cast, getting the passive setup is pretty good. I could have also played Thunder and then dual cast, and then that would be 2 instances of 14 damage. Maybe that was actually better. We don't get the passive damage, but that is it gets our power into play, which is pretty helpful. And that's just a lot of damage. So maybe that was actually a better sequencing there. Should have thought about that a little more before I made the play. We don't need to play Turbo this turn. We're just gonna let the enemy attack a bit. So this one's going to play Thorns here. I can go Defend, Focused Strike on this enemy. Play Cool-Headed. And I did it in that order so that we would get the extra focus before the Lightning Orb evoked. And then here, I guess I can just play Turbo as well. Just get the extra strikeout and defend. And we're 1 damage short. This is another one where maybe if I'd done it in the other order, it actually would have been better. But either way, we took 0 damage in that fight. Alright. Charge Battery, this is exactly the type of card I'm looking for on this character, and again, we're just going to do a lot of blocking and trying to use our orbs to kill things, or maybe set up for a powerful combo later, but Charged Battery is really good, because it is a very efficient blocking card, especially when upgraded, and of course gives you extra energy in later turns, which is exactly what this character wants. Alright, so because we lost some health to the events, and to our bad shuffle in the first fight, we're always going to use the Power Potion here, so I'm going to use it right away, and we'll see what we want. These are all interesting options. Echo Form, of course, is very powerful. Defragment is quite good for this character as well. Loop could be pretty good also, but Echo Form is just an extra card play every turn, so we're going to take that, and it's kind of 3 energy for free as well. And then I'll play Defend, Defend... Defend. Do I want to use Turbo just to play dual cast? I don't think I need to this turn. Here, I could get the Thunder set up twice. The reason to do that is that it's with our Echo form. The reason to do this, of course, is it's more damage, and it's our only opportunity to double Thunder, whereas we could double these other cards later on in the combat. So I think we are going to do that. So we'll double play Thunder. It won't trigger right away, but it's still pretty useful here. And then I'm going to go Charge Battery and Cool-Headed. That'll block all the incoming damage. Obviously should have played the Cool-Headed first to get the card draw first, but I was always going to play Charge Battery there. 22 damage incoming this turn. I could double Zap. I could double Charge Battery. Either of those seem not bad, but given how much damage we have... So I'm playing all 4 of these cards and not the Turbo this turn. So that's 10 block and 17 block, 19 block total. Or I could double Charge Battery instead of doubling Zap. Let's do the double Charge Battery. This way we block all of the incoming damage and get our Zap set up as well. And we'll be able to evoke these orbs as we continue. Dual cast here. This should work with our Thunder for a ton of damage. So I'm going to play that right away. And play the Cool-Headed as well. Once again, bad sequencing there. Should have drawn the card instead of playing the dual cast, because I'd have had Focus Strike before dual casting. So, gotta plan your turns out from the beginning to avoid making errors like that. Stun the enemy at kind of an awkward time. Maybe I also could have considered not stunning there. Let's do this correctly and play Cool-Headed first, double casting to draw 2 cards. I could have also considered not stunning there in order to have it have more turns, because we were blocking all of the damage, so I could have left it at 71 health. And then let's play the Charge Battery. I don't need to dual cast, because we'd just be dual casting these Frosts, so no need to play the Turbo this turn. 24 damage incoming this turn. Let's double Focus Strike. It's basically as good as doubling Defend. I mean, not as good, but close, because it's going to give us 2 more block as well from the extra focus. And then also will help damage the enemy. And then I've got 8 block. I can go up to 23 block if I just play all these defends. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Take 1 damage. And then here I can go Zap into... Yeah, doubling Zap will let me cycle through all of these Frost Orbs. So I'm going to do that, and then I can play Dual Cast, which will kill the enemy. Alright, so pretty clean fight. A couple small sequencing errors that I could have cleaned up there, but we took very little damage, which is great. Ornamental Fan will almost never play 3 attacks in a turn, so this is a pretty much useless relic. Here, I'm going to go with Hotfix. I already talked about how this is pretty good, and it's exactly what we want with this deck, which is cycling through Frost and Lightning. And then let's see what this event has. Enchant a Strike or Defend with Spiral. So adding Spiral to a Defend is pretty good. It turns it from a 1-cost 5-block card to a 1-cost 10-block card, which is suddenly an efficient card. Given that my health is low, though, let's just take the heal, and then we'll be able to use our campsites to upgrade instead of having to heal at them. I could actually gain some maximum health here at the Abyssal Baths, but I think I'm just gonna heal. Usually taking damage to gain maximum health is not a good trade, because you want to use this health to be able to take more fights, and take those fights more aggressively. Let's go to the left, and we'll get our Relic. Okay, well, Strike Dummy does work with our Focused Strike. So even though this is... So it basically it upgrades our Strike, so it's the 9 damage that Strike does is the same as an upgraded Strike. So it's a free upgrade already, and it gives us Focus Strike as a 12 damage card, which is already really good. And since this is a card we wouldn't mind upgrading as well, the Strike Dummy is not terrible. No, it's my least favorite event. So I really dislike getting the Spoils map. Now, I think my deck is pretty strong, and we have a lot of health, so maybe I can actually take the Spoils map and go for 600 extra gold. This is pretty greedy, because adding an extra card to your deck for the boss fight makes the boss fights a lot harder. But I think that I will take the spoils map here, and I think we can get away with that. For that reason, I'm also going to go to this campsite and get a card upgrade rather than take this elite fight. So I want to conserve my health. We have at least 2 hallway fights remaining as well. And we're going to take extra damage fighting the boss because we added a junk card to our deck. So we're going to go here and we'll take this upgrade. And our upgrades are actually pretty interesting on this character. We could take Cool-Headed for draw 2 cards. Very helpful. Goes very well also with our turbo, because the more cards you draw, the better energy generation is. Hotfix, not exhausting, it would be pretty nice as well, so adding upgraded hotfix could be pretty good. Upgrade charge battery is good, and upgrading zap or dual cast is always great, because going down to reducing the cost of a card, especially zap, which you'll play literally every time you draw it, gives you a lot more energy efficiency. But I think we'll take Cool-Headed. Going up to drawing multiple cards when we already have turbo in the deck means that we're going to be able to cycle through our cards much more easily. Alright, so here you can see the spoils map immediately hurting us already. I could set up Thunder this turn, or I could just block, and I think I'd better just block. Getting the power out there is good, but I really want to conserve my health here. And this fight, you can have it take a little bit longer because the enemy is going to be losing this plating over time, so it gets weaker, although it does, of course, also buff itself. Here, let's go charge battery, focus strike, damaging it a little bit. Do I want to waste my hotfix, which exhausts this turn? I think not. I think we can probably save this for when we're playing it in the same turn as we dual cast. So we'll just pass the turn here. 14 incoming damage this turn, so we're definitely going to take a real hit here. But we can play zap, charge battery, and strike. And we take 5. And now I can go Thunder, and we can play the hotfix, like I talked about. Now, dual cast is a little awkward here because it's going to eat our Frost Orb, because it doesn't evoke when you... Oh, no, wait, we're not echo forming it. I don't know what I'm talking about there. It's just going to evoke the Lightning Orb twice. When you echo form dual cast, like in the previous fight, it eats 2 orbs, but when you're just casting it normally, it's just the same orb twice. And then Focus Strike. Sure, I'll Cool-Headed here. Not that it matters, because the Lightning Orb would have finished it. So, not a bad fight. We took 5 damage. Okay, Tempest works extremely well with our Turbo, so I'm definitely going to take that. And now we can really set up to be a one-turn kill combo deck. With Thunder and Tempest and Turbo, we can easily set up turns where we evoke 6 Lightning Orbs by channeling Tempest for a whole bunch of damage at once. So that's a great find. And here, I think I'm just going to cast the Tempest. Do I want to use my energy potion? I think not. I think I'd rather save the energy potion for the next elite fight, but that one's close, because evoking 2 more orbs is pretty powerful there. Here, we will, of course, go Thunder, and then Defend. Sadly, Turbo doesn't do anything right now, but we can take the shuffle. And you can see why Spoils map, I think, is so brutal to have in your deck. But here, this is a very powerful turn for us. So I'm going to play Hotfix. I'll play Focus Strike before I cast Cool-Headed, so that the card draw, or so that we get the extra focus damage when we evoke the Lightning Orb here. So we'll Focus Strike this enemy, we'll play Cool-Headed, and then I'm going to play Dual Cast, so we have Thunder. These evoke for 11 damage. So if I Dual Cast and hit this cultist, it does die. And if I don't hit the cultist, then we'll kill the other one. So either way, that saves me some damage. And there we go. All right, so here, I love Lightning Rod, but we're definitely going to take Chill. A 0-cost card that just gives you a bunch of Frost Orbs is great. It can help cycle through the orbs as well, so we're going to take Chill. And then we're going to go fight this Elite. Here, I will play I'm just going to play all my cards. We do at least do the maximum 15 damage to this enemy this turn. But we are going to have a lot of crap in our deck, because it put 5 Dazes in this deck. Alright, so I do want to play Hotfix this turn, and we'll go with Cool-Headed. I'm going to play the Chill, and I'll play Charge Battery and Defend. Do the maximum 15 damage again. And then this turn, I will definitely play the Thunder, and I'll play Focused Strike. I could dual cast, or I could play Tempest. I think it's actually better to dual cast, because I want to save these Frost Orbs. And we can't do... Normally Tempest would be better, because it would deal just a bunch of lightning damage. But we can't do enough damage to make... Oh, obviously... Okay, that was a brain fart there. I meant to play the Tempest to evoke the last Lightning Orb, instead of playing the Defend. So I should have one more Lightning Orb here. Playing a little too quick, and now we are definitely taking some big damage this turn. And we should have 3 more damage to the enemy from the Lightning Orb, which would get it down to 17. So it wouldn't let us kill it in one turn. If I had done the Lightning Orb, but it certainly would be better to have it there. Let's start with the Cool-Headed. We'll play Focused Strike, and that gives me 9 block, and we can just play a Defend. And then this turn, we didn't draw any way to deal damage. So here is where having the Lightning Orb would have killed the enemy a turn sooner. Looks like we won't take any damage as a result of that misclick, because we were able to block all that damage again. But obviously a mistake. Regal Pillow is nice. We do want to be able to rest and regain health later on. I think that this relic is okay. Like, for example, here, I'm just going to upgrade anyways, because 45 health is enough. But there are times when you really do want this. I like Boot Sequence a lot on this character. You really do want to be able to defend yourself on the first turn, because this character often needs a setup turn. So that's what we're going to take here. And then we will go to the campfire, and we'll smith, and... There's a lot of options here. I could upgrade Hotfix to not exhaust. I could upgrade Thunder for more damage as well, now that we have the Tempest. I could upgrade Tempest, which is basically like turning it into a 0-cost Zap. So I'd upgrade Tempest over the Zap, because it's more modular. If you cast this for no energy, it's like playing upgraded Zap, but it's also better when you're casting it for energy as well. Or Chill, I could make not exhaust. I think here I'm just gonna upgrade the Tempest or the Hotfix. One of these two. Let's actually go with Hotfix. I think that having high focus is so important to this character that not exhausting the Hotfix is gonna make it significantly easier to win some of these encounters. Alright, so here... with the spoils map, we also, once again, got a very, very bad setup. So we're just gonna shuffle. Fortunately, this enemy gives us a couple setup turns, but just have to play Zap here, and then we'll pass the turn again. And then this turn, I can start getting things going. So I will play, I'll get Thunder into play. The enemy is going to take its action, whether I break its plating and wake it up this turn, or whether it counts down naturally, it's going to do an attack next turn anyways. So this turn we can use our potion, and actually I'm not attacking it, so I shouldn't use the potion there. but I can go hotfix. I'll use my energy potion to deal as much damage to it as possible. And I think, although I would like to channel a bunch of energy into the Tempest, I'll play Charge Battery to defer 1 energy to the next turn, just to make sure that we are able to play cards next turn as well. And then we do a bunch of damage to it. It's stunned here. I should have 1 more turn of vulnerable on it as well. So here, let's start with Cool-Headed. And I can go Chill as well. Just evoke 1 more of those. And then currently I have 4 block and we've got Defend, but I could go like Turbo Tempest, for example, and do a bunch of Frost Orb evoking. These evoke for 5, so if I play 2 Defends, and then go Turbo, dual cast first, and then we play Tempest, rotating through our Frost Orbs, we block all the incoming damage. Here, we're definitely going for a hotfix and a focused strike. And then we've got 18 damage incoming, so I will use my boot sequence this turn just to prevent all the incoming damage. $12 more damage incoming, so we lost an energy because we have the Void from our Turbo here. But because we played Charge Battery last turn, we can still play everything. And then this turn, let's go with Hotfix plus Cool-Headed. And do I want to charge Battery or just play Tempest? I guess I'll just play the Tempest, because we're planning to kill it next turn, kind of no matter what. So let's maximize damage this turn. And then here, Focused Strike kills it. Alright, so very, very clean Matriarch fight. I think that this deck is coming together very well. We've got a lot of focus. We have good orb potential. We've got our Tempest and everything. So let's see what rare we get, because that will also give us additional direction for where we're going to take the deck. Buffer, I don't like actually casting this. I think when you generate it off of creative AI, it can be pretty good, but putting it in your deck, it's too often just a dead card. All for One is very good if you're going for the 0 cost card synergy. So if you have like Claws as your main thing. So actually the run that I did in between the one I did in video and this one was a Claw run, and I really enjoyed that run as well. So I will do a Claw video at some point, hopefully. But it's not for this deck because we don't have any 0 cost cards. I guess we've got, well, we have actually more than I thought. We have Boot Sequence, Hotfix, Turbo, and Chill as 0 cost cards, and then Zap if I upgrade it. So that's actually more than I was thinking. And there's probably a couple more that I would end up with. Boot Sequence and Chill will often be exhausted from the deck, but this can be a lot of card draw if you get it in the right order. Consuming Shadow, channeling to Dark is very good. At the end of your turn, evoking your leftmost orb can be pretty powerful as well. So this is a power. I haven't had a lot of chance to play with this one, but I think that this deck actually has enough 0 cost cards that I'm going to take All for One. That's a very interesting decision there, and it could be either of those cards or Skip could be right. Very interested as to what people in the comments would do in that spot. And jumping in for Act 2, let's see what we've got here. So we could get Glass Eye. There's definitely some cards that we're looking for here still. So Glass Eye could give us a lot of potentially very powerful card rewards. Alchemical Coffer, I think, is mostly pretty bad, unless your deck is really struggling to take these early fights, or you have a very, very difficult path, which we have at least one fairly straightforward path to the left here. Oh, nice. And we also got our spoils map thing. So we have, so we're not taking Alchemical Coffer. And then this will allow us to channel 3 lightning at the start of combat. Now, this is pretty nice overall, I think. just for a little bit of extra damage, but it's basically 6 damage more a turn to start with, and then you can start channeling your orbs a little bit faster. I think we're more likely to get more value out of the Glass Eye, because there's some very powerful rares we could get, and there's a lot of cards that we're still kind of looking for in order to make this deck really come together. So we're going to go with the card rewards here. So when you get these card rewards that are multiple rewards in one, you should always look at all of them before you select any of them, just to make sure that you know what options you have. So I'm looking at Go for the Eyes. It goes well with our 0 cost theme, and it's just a very strong card overall. Here I'm looking at Hotfix or a second charge battery I'd be happy to have in the deck as well. For our uncommons, we don't have any status creators currently, though there might be some in this pool of card rewards. Fusion, I do like for extra energy, but we already do have Turbo, so we don't need Fusion as much. So I think we're probably skipping from that one. Storm, we currently have only... How many powers do we have? Just the one, right? We have just Thunder, although Storm and Thunder together are pretty nice. So I might consider taking that, especially if we get a good power from our rare here. Our rare, we can... any of these are pretty good. Machine Learning will help a lot, given that we're trying to cycle through our deck. Modded gives you an orb slot, which is fine, and a 0 cost card draw. And it upgrades to be 0 cost draw 2. And we can draw into it. We can't draw into it with All for One because it would have to be in our discard. So it doesn't synergize with All for One, because this puts 0 cost cards from your discard into your hand. Whereas Modded, when you play it, will always cost at least 1. So I think I'm going to take the Machine Learning here, and I'm going to take the Storm. And I'll pass from this one. Here, I'll take a Go for the Eyes, and then here... I'm torn on Charge Battery or Hotfix. Adding more focus will help a lot with this deck's Frost and card draw theme, and but Charge Battery is also pretty good. I've also diluted my ability to block quite a bit by adding 3 other cards to the deck. So I think to make sure that I have a critical mass of interactive cards that either do damage or stop me from taking damage, I'm going to take the Charge Battery there. Though that one's one that I'm not sure of. A lot of decisions there. Again, I'm interested in hearing how you'd have done that. I think there's no reason not to do this left-hand path, right? It just looks like a really clean path. Only 2 fights, then an Elite, and then we get to get the Spoils map out of the deck. We also get a shop when we have 200 gold. So yeah, this seems like a pretty obvious direction to go. All right, so here we're playing against the Thieving Hopper. So let's get all of these cards out, and we'll play the Strike here. Turbo doesn't do anything this turn. What did it steal? It stole our Chill. I don't actually mind if it runs away with the Chill. We might even not pick that back up. There's a chance that we might want to do it that way, but let's go Focus Strike, Dual Cast for the most damage, and we'll play Charge Battery, of course. It's got 25 health this turn, so what do I have? I have Turbo that I could draw back into. And I could redraw into Go for the Eyes after playing it. So let's play Go for the Eyes to start. I'll play Cool Headed. Machine Learning and Storm here are not amazing. Let me go with All for One first. Play Go for the Eyes. And then I can play the Turbo. So now I can play Storm, Turbo, Machine Learning, channel a Lightning, Zap, channel a Lightning, and Defend. And we take 4, but we should now win the fight this turn, so. Fairly clean fight there. Let's see what our reward is here. I think I'll pass on another Focus Strike or a Sweeping Beam. I don't think we need those. Chill... Am I removing Chill from the deck? I think, on the whole, I would rather have it. Though this is close. We could thin our deck by removing a kind of marginal card. Alright. 13 damage incoming this turn. It's really nice to have boot sequence, just making sure that we're not getting dunked by the tunneler this turn. So we only take 3 here. Given that we're not drawing anything, though, I will just play Focus Strike and Machine Learning. I'd rather just draw extra cards than do 10 damage here, even though it's slightly energy inefficient. And then this turn, I can go Chill, and kind of -1 for Chill here. I probably would rather that have been another card. And we'll dual cast. Definitely need more card draw here. That's the big thing that we're currently missing. Let's go with Hotfix, and I have 4 block and 23 damage incoming. So I definitely want to play the Charge Battery. The question is, I could try to cycle through the Frost as well, but that's only 3 more blocks. So I think we're just going to go Charge Battery, Thunder, and Tempest here, just charging one of these lightning orbs. There was no way I could do enough damage to break it, so we just tried to prevent a bunch of damage here. And then this turn, let's start with... go for the eyes. We'll play the Storm... well, I'll play Cool-Headed first, just to see what we draw into. Play Hotfix. Then I can go Charge Battery, Zap, which will cycle through one of my orbs, and then we can play Storm as well. Block all the incoming damage there. In my discard currently, we have Hotfix, and I can cast Turbo and redraw it if I want to. I don't need to draw Turbo twice, though, because we already have enough energy to play everything. So let's start with All for One, play Hotfix, play Dual Cast, stun the enemy here, and then we can play Focused Strike, and then I can Turbo into Strike and win the fight. Alright. So, reasonably clean fight there as well. Hologram, I don't mind at all. This could redraw some of our powerful cards. There are times where we could go like Turbo, Hologram, Turbo, and then Tempest for 1,000,000 Lightning Orb channels. Feral is a power, which works well with our Storm, but not particularly our other things. I think I'm going to pass on the Hologram, though. This deck is getting kind of bloated. We already have 23 cards, so I'd rather keep it a little thinner so we draw into our more relevant cards more frequently. I hate this event so much, because it's pretty difficult to take the payment plan card that just adds junk to your deck, and the Divines are pretty useless. So usually it just costs you some gold for almost nothing, but I guess we can try to make some of our gold back. Guess going here, we get some gold back and we get some potions. All right, so it was okay here. We actually spent 8 gold basically on 2 potions. I'll take the fruit juice. That's a nice one. And Blessing of the Forge. Would I rather have that than the speed potion? I think speed potion is on the whole going to be better most of the time. Though, all I need is to get past that one elite fight. So yeah, let's actually take Blessing of the Forge here. Then, we still have 220 gold, and we can go to this shop. Another Cool-Headed and another Turbo are exactly the type of thing that we're looking for. Removing our Strike is very important as well. Upgrade 2 random skills is very good. Upgrades are really nice for this deck right now. We have a lot of skills that we would love to upgrade, like Zap, Dual Cast. Any of the defends are fine, though obviously not ideal, but Zap, Dual Cast, either of our charge batteries, we'd be very happy to upgrade those. So upgrades, this deck is pretty upgrade hungry, and we haven't gotten a lot of opportunity to do it, so I'm kind of tempted by the War Paint. Pendulum, we don't have enough card draw to make this really strong. And Runic Capacitor, we don't really need extra orb slots the way that we've structured this deck currently. I think, though, I'm going to play it relatively safe, and we'll just remove our last Strike. Just makes the deck better overall. We'll buy Cool-Headed, and I'll buy a second Turbo so that we can often draw into more energy, into more draw, and just get a better combo turns. Let's go Random power or random 0-cost card. We have synergy with both powers and 0-cost cards. I think a random power is more likely to be relevant here. And the good thing about a random power from that event, because it always adds a card to your deck, is at least you can pay 1 to remove it from the deck and not have to redraw it. So if it's bad, the Hailstorm isn't terrible, but it's certainly not like amazing for us. It at least can then get cycled out of the deck. Here, I think we have plenty of health, so I'm going to upgrade, because we have so many upgrades that are really important, and I'm going to upgrade another Cool-Headed. I really want to be able to cycle through the deck more. And then let's take this elite fight. We'll drink the fruit juice, and I will definitely play Cool-Headed here. I want to get the Storm into play, of course, before I play other powers. Drawing into Turbo, this is exactly what we were looking for. So let's play another Cool-Headed, and then I can play Turbo, Boot Sequence, because of course I'm playing that as well. Now I have 10 block, and I can play Storm, Hailstorm. Channels a lightning as well, and then we're gonna block for 4 more, so we can play Charge Battery. Blocks all but 1 of the incoming damage. I could have used my upgrade potion as well. Maybe I should have done that, actually. Prevent 1 more damage, do a little more in return. Although here, this is a pretty good hand to upgrade, because all of these are relevant cards to upgrade. So I'm going to use Blessing of the Forge. Upgrading Go for the Eyes weakens this enemy twice, which is very nice. And let's go with Go for the Eyes. I'll play the Thunder first, because we'll be evoking some lightning orbs. We'll get the Machine Learning down, we'll get the Zap down, and then I'll play Tempest. Channel a bunch of lightning, dealing a bunch of damage to the enemy. Then we take 2. Draw an extra card here. Currently in my discard, we have Zap, Go for the Eyes, and Turbo. So we have a lot of stuff for All for One, which is pretty nice. Let's start with the Focus Strike. And then I can go All for One, gaining an energy and redrawing some cards. Chill Exhaust, so that I don't need to play that first, but I will play the Chill here. I'll play Go for the Eyes, weakening the enemy again, play Zap, and then I should play Turbo, so I can play both of these defends. We're going to win this fight in a couple turns regardless, so I just want to minimize the damage that I'm taking, especially because soon we're getting the Spoils map out of here, which will make our deck significantly stronger. Alright, we did get the Void here, but I can go Hotfix into Dual Cast, and that wins the fight. Dexterity Potion, really nice. Gorget, also really nice. This character just wants to be able to block enough, so we're very happy with that as our Relic. Do I want the Shadow Shield? This, I don't think I want either of the other two, although Sweeping Beam Cycling, this is a card I quite like early, because just cycling and being AoE damage is nice. Shadow Shield making a Dark Orb is pretty powerful, and adding extra block is good, but I think we're going to skip here. Adding these unupgraded cards to the deck at this point, when our deck has quite a powerful plan, just makes things a little bit less consistent. Alright, I definitely want to hit a second shop, because we have 700 gold. So it's nice that this floor also gave us the option to do that. The question is, would I rather... I could do this, take 1 hallway fight and 2 rests, or I could do Event Elite and a rest. I think we're strong enough, although I do really want to upgrade cards, but I think we're strong enough that I can go to the right here. We'll take an event. Alright, we'll lose 6 HP, that's unfortunate. We don't really need the gold, but I really don't want to add a Clumsy to the deck. Alright, so in this fight, it probably is going to be worth it to use my Dexterity Potion. These enemies tend to do a lot of damage, so I'm just going to do that right away. Use my Cool-Headeds as well. And then I'll play Boot Sequence. And then which of these powers do I want to get into play? Storm, of course, will be more value as I continue to play more powers. Thunder will be more damage up front, and machine learning will make our deck more consistent overall. I think I need to... I think I'm going to get the machine learning into play. Obviously, playing a different power before playing Storm, you lose some value there. But machine learning just makes it so much more likely we draw into the cards that we're looking for in the next couple turns. Chill is really nice as well. So let's play Hotfix, and I'll play Chill. And we'll get the Hailstorm out, and then I don't need to play this Turbo, I can just play some Defends. Hailstorm triggering at the end of your turn is pretty nice, and being AoE damage is also really nice. So here, let's go Focused Strike on the highest health enemy. We should have plenty of block at the end of this turn, because we're playing a bunch of other stuff. So I'm just going to evenly reduce my enemy's health here. And then I'm going to play Charge Battery, Turbo. I have 20... Well, if I channel with the Tempest, we'll have way more than enough block. So we'll just channel 3 times with Tempest there. Actually, I should have channeled only twice, because I could have triggered Hailstorm. So, yeah, that would have been better if I'd triggered the Hailstorm. Though this turn, I can go for the eyes, just get that into play. I'll play the Focused Strike as well to reduce this enemy's health, and then I can play Dual Cast first, and then I'll play Tempest. And we'll deal a bunch of damage here. We didn't get any blocking cards this turn, so I had to kind of hope that they would hit on the same enemy and prevent a little bit more damage, but we should still have plenty of health for this. I will say I think this was a pretty badly played fight by me, probably. Oh, and I thought that was... okay. This is an even worse played fight by me. I thought that was a different card there, the one that I played. And that I would be evoking a bunch of stuff with Tempest, not playing Thunder, and would have killed all the enemies there, so that was obviously a huge mistake. Whoops. Anyways, let's evoke some damage here. I don't need to play the Storm, because I'm just trying to spin through these orbs. And then we can win the fight. But I definitely took way more damage than I needed to. Bad sequencing and some brain farts. We will exhaust a decent number of cards, so Joss Paper can be okay here. Do I want another Hotfix, or do I want Hologram? I think I want the Hologram. Upgraded Hologram is a lot better, because it actually has a reasonable amount of block. And this deck really wants this effect, where we can play like Turbo into Hologram into Turbo again. Stuff like that, though Hotfix upgraded is very good as well. Here, I'm going to go here, and now I have to rest, unfortunately, because I messed up that last fight so badly, but that's okay. Then we'll go to the shop here. Alright, so this turn I should have a lot of potential options as well. Fasten is really strong, I think, in general. I find that this power is excellent. Nostalgia. Do I want this? There's some interesting things that I could do with this. And Synchronize, the upgrade. We currently only have 2 types of orbs. Honestly, the items in the shop here are not amazing for us. I am going to spend a bunch of money, though, so I guess I'll take the membership card, because we're spending a ton of money here. And then I can buy Happy Flower and Strawberry for sure. I can remove a card, and if I'm buying Fasten, I was planning to remove a Defend. If I'm buying Fasten, I don't really need to remove a Defend, so maybe I'm supposed to remove Zap or Dual Cast. We haven't upgraded either of them, and they're not a super high priority for us to upgrade, so they're not like amazing cards for us right now. Anything else that I would consider removing here? Now, I think this is actually a spot where we remove Zap, because Channel 1 Lightning for 1 is no longer particularly exciting. I would definitely remove Defend here if we didn't have Fasten, but I think Fasten is good enough that it just turns all your Defends into really powerful cards, so we're just going to take it. And do I want the Lightning Orb or any of these potions? I do have just the Elite Fight coming up, so I could take the Weakness Potion. That'll probably help save some health for us. And I don't actually think I want any of the rest of these cards, because none of them are upgraded, and they're not specifically helpful for our plan. Synchronize could be okay, but we only have 2 potential orbs. And I'm hesitant to add a bunch of cards that kind of clog up the deck with non-interactive effects. Like I mentioned, I want things that do damage and block. Alright, so I could trade Joss Paper, which I don't really want, for Lantern, and Lantern is great. I think a pretty top-tier relic. Regal Pillow for Mercury Hourglass. These are both kind of mid-tier relics, so I think that's fine. I also have very few uses for the Strike Dummy at this point, because I've removed every strike except for the Focus Strike, so this is basically de-upgrade 1 card in exchange for the Venerable Tea Set, or Joss Paper, we're not exhausting that many cards, in exchange for Lantern. Neither of these are super powerful relics for us, and both of the options are good, so the question is, which do I want more? I think I will take the Tea Set. Starting with extra energy in boss fights is really powerful, so we'll take that. Then I'm going to Smith, and again, a few different interesting options for smithing here. Storm is pretty good to smith. Machine Learning, just it works well with our Venerable Tea Set as well to have that in our opening hand. And just makes our deck more consistent throughout. I could also take an upgrade on Focus Strike. That's just additional focus. Or Tempest. I think I'll just upgrade the Tempest, though. Being able to always play this, even if I want to use my energy on other stuff, and it went on turns where you play Tempest, that's just +1 energy, which is just a really good feature overall. Alright, let's play the Cool-Headed. And the Cool-Headed. And then we didn't draw into a Turbo. I really want to get Machine Learning out. So what can I play here? I'm going to Focused Strike to turn around, because not only is the focus good, turning around will prevent damage. And then I'll play the Chill, and we'll play, I think, Charge Battery and Machine Learning. And then I have plenty of block. I don't need to use my Weakness Potion or my Boot Sequence, so we can leave those in the deck. Alright, this turn, I'm gonna... Oh, Go for the Eyes is another card I could have upgraded for a lot of value as well. So this turn, I'm always going to take some damage. But let's start with Go for the Eyes on this enemy and Weak Potion on this enemy. I want this weak for multiple turns. And then I can play another Go for the Eyes. I can draw back Boot Sequence as well with my All for One, which is pretty good. So let's play Storm. Fasten, I think, will matter more in future turns. And then we'll play the All for One. And then I'll play Go for the Eyes, keeping Rocket weak for a longer time. And we'll play our Boot Sequence as well. So All for One was quite good there. Not getting the Hailstorm in play is a little painful, but more important to do it this way, I think. Alright, so here, sadly, Tempest is still in the shuffle. I could hologram into Cool-Headed and try to draw into Tempest. Because I can play hologram, put something into my hand. And then we could maybe get a really big Tempest turn with Turbo, Tempest. I kind of like that. So let's hologram back a Cool-Headed. I'll play the Cool-Headed. And then we did draw into Thunder plus Tempest, which is exactly what we were hoping for. So we'll get Thunder into play. Yeah, I have no way to generate focus this turn, unfortunately. If we'd drawn into hotfix as well, that would have been good, but this is still really powerful. I can go turbo, turbo. I'll spend one of these energy on charge battery, though, and just to defer some energy till next turn, and then we can channel Tempest for a bunch of damage to all of these enemies. So this is why we wanted to weaken it for multiple turns. We did get both voids in our opening shuffle. Kind of unlucky there. But I guess let's go hotfix, hologram back, hotfix, and play it, and we'll play a defend, and then we're going to take a fairly large hit. Here, I can play Go for the Eyes, and then redraw Go for the Eyes and turbo. So, yeah, let's go for the Eyes, turbo, cool-headed. Was hoping to draw into another zero-cost card like this turbo, but that's okay. We can then go all for one on this enemy. Oh, and I did have a hotfix as well. I can play Go for the Eyes, I can play hotfix, and I can replay the turbo. I am putting a lot of voids in the deck, but that's fine. I probably want to get the Hailstorm in play, and this is because we have Storm. Playing Hailstorm is the same as spending an energy on Tempest as well. And then I've got 8 block for 10 damage, so I will do 1 charge battery, and then I'll play this Tempest. And then this turn, I need to be aware that I have 2 voids in the deck, so if I play these cool-headeds, I might draw into void and lose energy. That being said, I think that's still fine. So I'm going to go Focused Strike on... Actually, which one do I want to do damage to? This one has a bunch of block, but it's also lower health. I guess I'll just hit the one that doesn't have block. Then we'll play Cool-Headed. So we did draw into a void. I'll play Cool-Headed again. Didn't draw into a void that time, so that's fine. And then let's dual cast my lightning here for more damage. And then I do need to play turbo, and we'll play charge battery, defend. This turn I can play hotfix. I could hologram something back as well. I can go hologram back turbo and then play turbo. And then we should be able to just win with Tempest this turn, I think. Although when the first enemy dies, the other is going to get a bunch of shield, but that's okay, I think. So let's go with all for one, redraw hotfix, replay turbo, and then I will play Tempest for a bunch. Do I want to play the defend first? I think we'll still kill the enemies if I do that, or kill one of them if I do that. Oh no, it was evenly distributed, so I guess not quite, unless 2 of the lightnings go on rocket here. But we also block a bunch of damage and lower the enemy health significantly. And then here, we'll start with hotfix. I'll play the Go for the Eyes, I guess. And then it's going to play defend, and let the lightning hit. And then it actually wasted its block entirely, so now we just get to kill it. Alright, pretty clean crab fight. And we get to add a card to the deck. Do I want another all for one? It is pretty good, given that we've added a lot of zeros to the deck. I don't know how many of this effect that we want, because it's energy neutral with our unupgraded turbo, energy positive with our upgraded turbo. But a lot of the time it's just drawing 1 card or 2 cards back for 2 energy. So I think here, I'm just going to pass. I don't think any of these really work with the core plan for the deck. So I'm just going to skip all these cards. And going in for Act 3, let's see what we've got here. So, whenever you play 2 or fewer cards in a turn, take half damage from enemies. Now, we're almost never going to do that, though on turns, the thing that's good about the Diamond Diadem is that on turns where you are forced to play 2 or fewer cards, you're often not going, you really want the take half damage, because you won't have enough block to defend yourself. So this can lead to some avoiding of fail states, especially if you have a lot of junk in your deck, like curses and stuff. At the start of each combat, fill all empty potion slots with random potions. We have 4 potion slots, so the Delicate Frond is actually pretty powerful for us because we have the Potion Belt Relic. Normally, not a big fan of this, but with Potion Belt, Delicate Frond is pretty good. Or just raise my max HP by 31. I'm honestly not super happy with any of these, but let's take the Delicate Frond. I haven't had a chance to really try this. I don't think I've ever taken it. And this is the time where it's up against 2 other ancient buffs that I think are not great. And also we have the Potion Belt, so we're going to get a ton of extra potion value from it. All right. I have 300 gold still, and we have the membership card, so we really want to go to some shops. Looks like these 2 shops to the left are pretty tempting, because I can go for this path where we take only 2 fights, and we get an elite fight, we get an upgrade, we get a shop or an elite depending on what we want. Yeah, that looks like a really strong path. Any of these others involve more hallway fights, I think, though this path is 2 hallway fights, 2 events, elite, go to this shop, and then we get... Actually, that's a pretty nice path as well, with only 1 hallway fight. I think I like the left-hand side a little more still, but either of those are pretty good options. And again, at this point in the run, our goal is just to minimize hallway fights as much as possible. We don't need the random cards from them, and they tend to reduce your health by a lot. All right, let's throw the Powdered Demise at the enemy that has shields. I'll use the Strength Potion. Of course, I can save... If I get a potion that's especially good, I could save it for future fights, but we're obviously heavily incentivized to use every potion that we get, because we get new ones every fight. So if we don't use every potion, we're giving up some value. Radiant Tincture I'm definitely going to use. Energy Potion I might not need this turn, so let's wait and see. We'll play the Hot Fix and the Cool-Headed, and I'll play another Cool-Headed. So some pretty nice draws there. And then let's go with... I am going to use the Energy Potion over using the Turbo this turn, I think. So that this way I can just play all my cards, weaken that enemy, and then I'll get Thunder, Fasten, and Boot Sequence. Actually, I could have just damaged the Living Shield. We did not need to weaken the turret operator. I had way more block than I needed there. This turn, we have Thunder already, so I'm going to start with Dual Cast, or do I hologram something back? Because I could hologram Hotfix back, I could hologram Cool-Headed back, I could hologram back Turbo. I think I'm going to hologram back the Hotfix, and then we'll play Dual Cast for more damage here. And then we can just play some blocks. And then this turn, I can go... let's start with Chill. Do I want to go with Storm and Hailstorm, or do I just want to play a really big Tempest? We won't have a Frost... I could have kept the Chill, actually, if I was going to keep Hailstorm. I could have kept the Chill, but I think we're going to be fine just to play Turbo into a really big Tempest this turn. That will get close to killing all of the enemies if it doesn't actually kill them outright. There were some random rolls there where we could have killed them outright, but either way we were able to clear that fight with no damage taken. Liquid Memories is a really powerful potion. Is that going to be better than a random potion? I think it usually will be, so I will pick up the Liquid Memories here. Do I want another Tempest? Boost Away also good, because it costs 0. and we don't care that much about adding days to our draw pile. I think that I typically am not going to need any of these cards, though. So we don't need a second Tempest. We'll just cycle through to the one that we have with our card draw. I'm much more interested in card draw and ways to generate energy than I am in adding more cards that don't do those things to the deck. All right. So for this one, let's start with... I'll play the Cure-All to start, because I want to draw some cards. And then I'll play Cool-Headed to draw some more cards. I can all-for-one back all of these turbos. I don't have... Tempest in hand, so playing turbos isn't that amazing currently. So maybe I save... I could also retain my hand here, and then we could draw into Tempest. So yeah, let's actually do that, and we'll just set up the powers this turn. And then I can use my turbos and Tempests. When we draw Tempest, we can use Turbo, all for one back the Turbo, etc. Do I want to Liquid Memories back the Cool-Headed? I don't think so. We don't need to do that this turn. Then we draw 5 cards here. I could have played one more card as well because we did have Machine Learning. So let's start by playing Focused Strike, just to get that out of my hand. And then I'm going to play Charge Battery. I'll hologram back the Cool-Headed. Play Cool-Headed. Play Go for the Eyes. And then I think I'm fine just retaining my hand this turn. We have Cool-Headed. We have enough block. And we might draw into something good. I'll play the boot sequence, which we won't need, just so we can draw an extra card. Because we're retaining our hand again. Alright, so I didn't draw into Tempest. It's in the bottom couple cards here. So let's start by playing... What do I want to play first? I guess my 2 turbos. Because I am going to try to Cool-Headed into Tempest this turn. And I can Liquid Memories back some more card draw if I need to. So I'll play, and I'll use the Energy Potion. I'll play Cool-Headed, drawing a couple cards. We'll play Hotfix for sure. I'm going to get Storm and Thunder online. And then I'll Liquid Memories, and we'll Liquid Memories back our Cool-Headed. And I guess at this point I am hoping that Tempest isn't the exact bottom card of the deck, which in fact it was. So using all of that energy was pretty rough there, because we didn't get to draw into Tempest. So I did leave that fail state open, which shouldn't matter most of the time. It was unlikely, but maybe I should have played around it anyways. Let's go all for one, and then I'll play Hotfix. I'll play Go for the Eyes. I'll play the Chill here. And I'll dual cast, cycle some more damage. And then we've got plenty of block and everything, so kind of an anticlimactic turn, which won't matter in the end, but having Tempest be the exact bottom card of the deck did make it a little bit harder. So this turn, I can go for the Eyes, weaken this enemy, play Hologram, back the Go for the Eyes, and then I can play Focused Strike here for some more block, and we'll play Tempest to cycle through. Take 3 damage as well. And then now I'm going to go with Turbo, Cool-Headed, play the Hotfix, play Cool-Headed again, and then I'll play Dual Cast, ending the fight. So I took 3 damage there because of that shuffle. Yeah, Attack Potion is probably better than a random potion as well, most of the time. Overclock, this is again exactly the type of thing that I'm looking for, just drawing into my cards, preventing that issue from happening. Like, if we'd had Overclock in the deck, that couldn't have happened. Downgrade 2 random cards, upgrade 4 random cards. Now, upgrading 4 random cards is pretty good. We do also have 2 rests ahead of us, so I could re-upgrade any key cards that we need. And duplicating my deck, in this case, I don't think is particularly good. So let's downgrade a couple random cards. We lost a Cool-Headed, which I'll have to upgrade again. I wish that it would leave that on screen for just a little longer, or show you a little bit more of it. We got Overclock upgraded, we got Go for the Eyes upgraded, we got Chill, and Storm. So those are really good upgrades. We lost a Cool-Headed upgrade, and I don't remember what the other one was. Then we'll go to the shop here. Another Storm. Suddenly, Storm is pretty good when you have multiples of them like that. I'm definitely going to take the Oddly Smooth Stone. That's great. And my attacks, I currently have Focus Strike, and any other unupgraded attacks, I have All for One, which just upgrades for 4 more damage, which isn't what we're usually using it for. So upgrading 2 random attacks is not that exciting. I could remove a card as well. So let's buy the Storm here, because I do think I want multiples of those. Rolling Boulder is also not bad for this character, because we have a lot of ability to block. So Rolling Boulder just stocking up extra damage over time is pretty good, and with turbos we can usually play it, I think. I definitely want to remove a card though, so what would I remove? Probably the Dual Cast, given that we have Fasten, so our defends are better. Or I could just remove 1 defend anyways. Fasten's still good, even if there's only 3 defends in the deck. Oh, Hologram's the other card that we downgraded. Which isn't, like, that big a deal. It's just the 2 block. And I think, yeah, it removes the exhaust, but we don't care that much about removing the exhaust. So, when I re-upgrade my Cool-Headed, we'll be back into pretty good shape. So yeah, let's remove Dual Cast. I haven't upgraded it, so it's often a dead draw. And then, do I want Rolling Boulder or Whetstone? I do have 1 more shop coming up. So I think I'll pass on all of these, and we'll see what we get in the next shop. And then here, do I want to keep the attack potion or get a random potion? I actually think I'd rather a random potion than an attack potion. All right. Well, we're definitely using our regen potion, and here we get our unupgraded Cool-Headed. I'll use Potion of Binding as well to minimize the incoming damage this turn. I'll draw with Cool-Headed. Okay, well, we got Fasten. That's pretty good. And I'll play Fasten, Defend, and Boot Sequence. Take no damage this turn, and we still get to play Tempest. Flex Potion, or the Strength Potion and the Dex Potion we can pass on. Alright. This turn, I will start with the Overclock. See what we draw into. All for One, redrawing Chill, redrawing Overclock, all of that's pretty good as well. So I'm definitely going to do that. So let's play... Do I want to play the Thunder first? Probably. So I'll play Thunder. I'll play Chill, because then we get the extra damage when we play the Chill. Then I guess I'll use my Flex Potion, because I'm playing All for One here. And hopefully we draw into Turbo with this Overclock. If we don't, it's not that big a deal. We should draw into something good. We actually didn't draw into anything good here. But we can at least use a Chill. And we'll take 6. Pretty unlucky draws there. But again, we should be able to overcome that, no problem. Let's play the Cool-Headed. Double Storm at this point is kind of nice as well. And I will be using my Dexterity Potion. I don't need to... Well, I can go for the Eyes. We've got 24 incoming damage and 12 block, though with the Storms, we're going to activate these. So let's play Storm, Storm. And then we've got 18 block, so with the Defend, that's enough that I don't have to use the Dex Potion this turn. And our Regen Potion is actually doing very well here. Sure, I guess I'll just hotfix and then do some defense. Not having the second upgraded Cool-Headed does make it a lot harder to draw into enough cards. And not having gotten Machine Learning into play as well. let's start with Overclock here. We're going to draw this burn. I would love a Compact or one of the ways to remove these cards, just anything that exhausts, because now that I have Overclock, it will add a bunch of crap to my deck. Let's go with Cool-Headed. I still don't have a Turbo this turn. So what do I want? I could play a Speed Potion and play Double Charge Battery. That's probably the way to go. Speed Potion, Double Charge Battery, we'll play Chill. Take a little damage from Burn, and then we'll take a hit from the enemy this turn. But because I had my Regen Potion, we're fine there. Here we'll go for the Eyes, and then I can all for one back most things. I will redraw with Cool-Headed because we either draw into Hologram and then we can get the other Turbo back and replay it twice, or I draw into Turbo. So this is always energy positive. And then I can play Hologram. We'll Hologram back this Turbo, play the Turbo, play all for one, drawing all of this stuff, and then we'll play Hotfix first. We'll Overclock. And I'll play Go for the Eyes for sure, Double Turbo. Do I want to cycle Cool-Headed or play Focus Strike before I use my Tempest is the question here. I guess I will use the Focused Strike, and then I'll just play the Tempest. We'll cycle it for 1,000,000 damage and kill the enemy. So there we go, we got our combo going. I don't hate Glacier. Leap Plus would be fine, but we already have Fasten, which kind of turns all our defends into leaps. And Lightning Rod would also be fine. I think here we're just skipping. Then we're going to go here and re-upgrade my Cool-Headed, because I really want to be able to cycle through the deck faster. Go to the Relic. Kunai, we're never going to activate, unfortunately. And with all this money still and the membership card, I'm going to take the store over the Elite Fight. Another Thunder could be pretty powerful. Sturdy Clamp is incredible for this deck as well. The newly buffed Plating, I don't think we want. I could get another Turbo. Centennial Puzzle is pretty good. Royal Stamp as well. I could... Had a quick sneeze pause there, but we're back. I like Sturdy Clamp a lot, and Royal Stamp for example, we could Royal Stamp the Overclock, just to draw more cards on the first turn every time. That would be pretty good. I don't have any, there's nothing that can exhaust anything here, which is what I was really hoping for. But I'm going to take the Sturdy Clamp, and I think I will, do I want Thunder? A second Thunder is a lot of extra damage once we get that in play, and we do have 2 Storms as well. So yeah, let's actually take the Thunder here, and then don't think I want to add any of these to my deck. Nola's fine. The third Turbo, I don't think we need. We need card draw more than energy currently. And do I want to spend... We might as well spend our money, so if there's any of these enemies that... Or any of these potions that I think are better than a random potion, I should probably take them. But I don't think so. So I'm just going to proceed here. And then we'll go here and we will upgrade again. And let's go with upgraded... I could upgrade the second Storm for more damage. I could upgrade Machine Learning so that we can always start with it. I could upgrade... hologram so that it doesn't exhaust anymore. I think being able to loop hologram isn't bad, but I think upgrading machine learning is good here. Again, just we're looking for ways to make the deck as consistent as possible. I also don't really need more relics, so I'm just going to take this event rather than the Elite Fight, and we'll just get to the boss as quickly as we can. Ah, dang. Well, if I'd known this was a fight, I would certainly have taken the Elite Fight over just a random hallway fight. Let's start with, well, I'm going to use the Explosive Ampoule, and I'll use a Skill Potion right away, just to see what we get off the Skill Potion. Do I want Glacier or Cool-Headed? I guess I'll take Cool-Headed, just so we can draw some more cards. I'll play another Cool-Headed as well. And then I've got Tempest, but no additional energy, so I could use my Swift Potion, for example, here. Let's play the boot sequence to remove a card from my hand, and then Tempest would not do enough damage currently because we don't have enough energy, but let's use our Swift Potion. Okay, here we go. So now I can play Turbo, Overclock to remove, or Overclock to draw some more cards. We'll play the Turbo. I'll play Storm first. Then I will play Thunder. I'll use my Gambler's Brew as well, and I'll discard Defend. I should have played Cool-Headed first if I was going to play the Cool-Headed, so I should have thought about that. But I guess I'm just discarding Defend, because all these powers are worth extra energy with the Storm, and I want to play Focus Strike. Alright, maybe not a great use of the Gambler's Brew there. But let's Focus Strike, and then I'll play the Cool-Headed here, draw some extra cards. I'll play Machine Learning, channeling my Lightning here, because I don't have any other card draw. I could All for One back Overclock, actually, so let's do that as well. We'll play All for One. We'll play 2 Turbos. We'll play Overclock. We'll play another Storm. So yeah, I should have All for One back the Overclock before I played Machine Learning, because then I would have gotten more procs with the Storm. So, definitely still some sequencing stuff that I need to clean up when I'm playing the Defect here. And then let's go with Tempest. And that should kill most of these enemies. Well, sure, we'll play the Go for the Eyes, and then I'll play Chill, channeling a couple more Lightning Orbs. And there we go. That's almost the entire Axebot fight on the first turn. So that's what this deck is trying to do. We also get to keep our block from turn to turn as well. And then we just play a power and win. Here, nothing that I want here, so I'm going to skip. Take another fight. Alright, well, might as well make the enemy as vulnerable as possible, and we'll use our Liquid Bronze. And then I will play the Cure All this turn as well. See what we can draw into. We'll play our Cool-Headed. I'll play the Go for the Eyes for 2 weakness. Unfortunately, I would have to hologram back Cool-Headed to draw more cards. Is that what I want to do? Probably. Being able to draw more cards is going to help us find turbos or something for more card plays most of the time, or let us at least play Storm before we play these other powers. And then I'll start with Overclock. I can play a Turbo. I can play Storm. I can play Thunder here. And another Thunder. I could have played Focused Strike first, but let's just go with Machine Learning. And then I'm going to play the boot sequence just because I don't want to redraw into it. Oh, although I forgot about the Joss paper, so I redrew a card there, which I didn't need to. Hotfix, that's great. And then we'll play Storm here. Actually, yeah, I should play Cool-Headed first, in case I draw into more ways to increase my focus. Now I can play Storm. And I can play Turbo, Hailstorm, and Fasten. And win that fight as well. And we've got the full combo online, basically. Here I'm just going to take an event. We don't need more relics. I'm just going to save my HP so that I can upgrade another card if I want to. Okay, well, we got a shop. With the membership discount, that's fine. Do I want White Noise or Capacitor or both? I don't think I want any of these other cards, but adding more powers to the deck can be pretty good. Oh, I should also discard this Speed Potion, because it's worse than a random potion for sure. I think adding both Capacitor and White Noise to the deck is pretty nice. Just some more powers here. And then, are any of these potions better than a random potion? The Bottled Potential would be, but I can't afford it because I bought those other 2 cards. So I think that's it. We won't spend the rest of our gold. And then we'll go to this campsite, and we will upgrade again. I could upgrade White Noise to cost 0, give me another 0-cost card. Obviously, it exhausts, so it won't be redrawable with All for One. But I think just the Storm is going to be the best here. Just way more lightning damage. And then we're going to go in for the Doormaker fight. And we are up against the new Doormaker. Wow, some, like, the worst set of random potions we could have gotten here. Also, a pretty bad draw with both my turbos in the opening hand. So, when we can't, like, do anything to the enemy because it's behind the invincible door here. So, the Doormaker will eat every 10th card that we draw. Fortunately, this deck is while it's a combo deck, it's not one that requires super specific cards or anything like that. So we should be just fine. And then I guess I'll use my damaging potions here because we drew that garbage. Let's start with All for One can draw back these turbos or boot sequence, which I guess is worth doing. So I will play All for One. And I'll play a charged battery, I'll play a focus strike, I'll play the boot sequence, I don't really want that to still be in the deck. And then that's enough blocks, so I don't really need to play a turbo. I could play one in order to play charged battery if I wanted to. Is that worth doing for basically, we put a void in the discard for 1 extra energy next turn? I think that is worth it. Because I don't know what I'm doing next turn, so having the extra energy might be pretty helpful. Alright, it ate. One thing that really bugs me about this enemy right now, by the way, in the current patch, is there is no way to tell what it ate. It appears on screen extremely briefly. I think it was my Hailstorm, if I caught the image correctly. We can, like, check our discard pile and compare it to our deck. But you should be able to mouse over this and see what the dang thing ate. I mean, it's just ridiculous that you can't. Alright, let's start with a Cool-Headed here. And then I can get Storm, Thunder, Thunder, which is really nice. So we'll definitely do that. Storm, Thunder, Thunder. I'll hologram something back. I guess it would be a 0-cost card. So I could hologram back Turbo. I could hologram the Void into hand as well, to get rid of it. That might actually be the best thing to do, because we would have 0 energy anyways. And the only other cards I could hologram back would be Turbos, which would basically let me play 1 Defend. Which isn't terrible. Playing a Defend is not awful here. So that's actually an interesting spot. I think I will be using my Speed Potion this turn as well. So let's use the Speed Potion. We'll play Hologram. And Turbo could protect my health now in the short term. We'll give 28 block for 41 incoming damage. But I think actually just getting the Void back just to get it out of the deck is going to be better. Maybe playing... once again, I did not see what it ate there. Maybe playing Chill and then replaying Chill would have been better as well. Another possible option. So let's go with the Cool-Headed first, because I want to draw into some cards and see what we're working with here. And I didn't draw Turbo or any way to gain energy this turn, but I do have Go for the Eyes, which is nice. I'll play the White Noise as well. We'll decide what order we're playing our cards in. I don't hate the bulk up. I would rather have more orbs, but obviously more dexterity is pretty good as well. So let's play Storm, bulk up, Go for the Eyes, and then I'll play Tempest for cycling through a little bit more damage. And then we'll take 5 here. I There's a lot that I don't like about the Doormaker change, but also it not like ducking back behind the door again, I think loses a lot of the charm of this boss. That was one of the things that made it like fun. And then here we'll just play a bunch of block. All right, let's see if we can figure out. Okay, it ate our chill. That's fine. As long as it doesn't eat Tempest, we're in pretty good shape. Let's play the Cool-Headed first. And I'll play another Cool-Headed. And now I can play both turbos. So let's play Turbo, Turbo, Capacitor, in some extra orb slots, channeling through a bunch of block there. Play Go for the Eyes. Will Tempest kill the enemy? So we're doing 12 plus 8 damage on every channel. And we have 7 channels, so that's 20 times 7 is 140. And then it's also going to do 12 more damage. So we won't quite kill it by casting Tempest this turn, which means that I should play Charge, Battery, Defend, and Tempest, if I've done that math correctly. Yeah, we would have had 40 more damage there, so that was, I believe, correct. And then this turn, I'm going to play Fasten, and that's the Doormaker fight, and we were able to get a pretty fun combo kill on the boss there. Really enjoyed that one. So yeah, so I think that everyone's help and my kind of actually sitting down to think through how I was approaching the character really did make the Defect a lot more parsable. So hopefully this helped you as well if you were struggling with this character. The key here for the Defect is that I think it is too easy to lean into like a million storms and capacitors and thunders and stuff early. And while these cards you can add later on, you really need to get the basics online for this character of things like Cool-Headed, Charge Battery, Focus Strike, Hotfix is fine. Just the basic cards that we added in order to make the deck stable before you can start doing the weird combo stuff that makes this character really powerful in the end game. And I think that's where I was often falling down, and that may be where you were falling down as well. So we did make it through here and get a win. So hope that you enjoyed that run with the Defect. As always, of course, if you have enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like, helps me out with the algorithm. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Slay the Spire 2 and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.